Yeah, Joe, how do you reflect a point on your Conference League opener? How do you view the game?
I look at first and foremost immensely proud of the lads and the performance that they put in. Listen, real tough opposition we were playing against. I think I touched on it the other day about the goals they scored against Cluj and Anderlecht and stuff like that. So here, I don't think we gave up too many chances there tonight. So they got a clean sheet and get a point on the board in the first game for the football club at this level. Yeah, it's real proud of me.
And first half, you had maybe more chances. Second half, maybe you were sitting a little bit deeper. So what was the conversation like at halftime, and is that the way you expected the second half to go?
Look, I thought sometimes in the first half and our break, I thought our press was quite good. I think our shape overall, as I said, limited them. They have some really good players. I think you've seen that, how technically good they were on the ball and across the pitch, really. I felt in the first half we weren't, really, to be honest. I thought we could have been better on the ball. We were a little bit too safe in our build-up and in our passing. Too many sideward passes that sort of invited the press. And sometimes you have to be brave with that and willing to stay on the ball and break a line with a pass from the back line, or as a midfielder, willing to try turn and make a forward pass, and I felt we could have improved that. But again, second half here, they were going for it. Obviously, the conditions really tough out there. We probably had the benefit of the conditions the first half. They had them in the second half. But as I said, overall, 0-0, get a point on the board. Yeah, pleasing.
Just finally, they were attacking you down your right, their left in the second half. They looked really, really dangerous. That was an area I guess you had to shore up.
Yeah, listen, really good player again. It shows the quality they have to be able to bring a player like that off the bench. But here, Tallaght Milan stuck to his task really well at times. Once or twice we were out of shape, so here they can potentially hurt him, but I thought there was some fantastic clearances as well in the box. When he did get the cross in the box, Paddy, I think, made a couple of Kerr again. Here, thought Kerr was brilliant all night for us, to be honest, and really embraced the occasion and put in a monster performance.
Joey, you mentioned the conditions, the wind, the rain, made it a really hard game to play for the players on both sides. Did that change your approach kind of last minute when you were in the dressing room giving instructions to the players?
Listen, I think they knew it in the warm-up was going to be difficult, obviously. So at times you had to play the conditions, and I thought we'd done that quite well. But yeah, the pitch got heavy, obviously, and here the pitch is fantastic up here, but for both teams it got a bit heavy. I suppose that was the swing of the first half and second half. Whoever had the better conditions really was probably the team that was shading it and on top,
Adebeko was clearly a target man. There was a good few balls going into him, some good passes. Were you happy with his performance in the end?
Yeah, listen, I thought they all stuck to it really well. It's a tough night up there. I suppose you're giving up possession against a team like that, and here you have a structure. It's easy, like as fans and all that, you want lads tearing off after each other and stuff like that. But at times you have to take your chances, and if you jump out. And you've seen that, I think, a couple of times, maybe in the second half, we jumped a little bit too aggressively and came out of our shape, and they were able to play around us, and I thought that's where they got their bit of joy. So you got to bide your time, and then when you have a chance to really come out and attack and jump off a press, you got to take that. And I thought that's why Kerr was so, it was probably our best player really on the night, really, because I felt he got that, he timed it, and he was able to jump on them and really affect them and get us turnovers, and then showed us quality on the ball,
Can I ask your thinking as well, just behind the Ali Coote substitution at that time when you made it?
Yeah, no, listen, again, just freshen up the lads. Thought all the subs coming on were really good. I felt Jack coming on, again, showed us quality again there tonight and got on the ball and was able to take that little bit of heat that I spoke about looking to play forward, being able to manipulate the football to play forward, not just be safe. So I thought he was really good. And then I thought the two boys coming on up front, John and Dickie coming on for Meepo and H again, added a little bit of freshness and bit of energy to us, and I thought they helped us as well,
Yeah, Henry Francis took a little bit of time to get into the game, but once he did, he was hitting some brilliant passes. He was doing some really good work. It was kind of maybe a microcosm of your team as a whole, because it felt like as the game wore on, they felt that they deserved to be there, that they were at that level. Do you feel that yourself?
Yeah, listen, maybe I suppose at the start maybe he was a little bit nervous, maybe, and that's okay. I said to the boys before the game, it's okay to be nervous at times, but I thought we probably carried that onto the pitch a little bit. But again, we sort of played our way through that, and we didn't get caught out, and that's a big thing for me. And I think that's a learning that we've made over the last couple of seasons. Even I know when people talk about the experience or lack of experience, but I think I touched on even FC Zurich game for me was a great learning for their group last year. And how clinical it can be in Europe. You're slightly off shape or you slightly make a mistake, you can get punished. We felt overall tonight we didn't really make any big errors, and we didn't really cough up too many chances, which when you play in Europe, as I said, they got a clean sheet, it's obviously pleasing, but I think again the amount of big chances that they had, I can't really remember too many.
Just funny for me, that point is huge. Like, to play your first ever group stage match, to get a point, you've set yourselves up nicely. Like, there are tough games coming towards the end of the group phase for Shelbourne. Could you get 6 points over the next 2 games and hopefully progress to the next round, or do you think it might be a case of maybe getting 3 or 4 points from the next 2 games and see what you can get from the last few then?
I think genuinely, I know it's a boring answer, but you can only look at the next game, really, and you just do your homework on them, assess them, try to come up with a game plan and try to attack that game, and that's how it's going to be. I don't think you can look too far down the line, really, so it's we wanted obviously to make sure we got something out of the game tonight, and we've done that, so we'll move on now and get ready for the next one.
Happen to 1 or 2 clear chances, if any. How impressed were you defensively?
Yeah, as I said, I think the lads really stuck at it, and sometimes it's I use that word sometimes in defending in your defensive shape. Sometimes you suffer out of shape, and you got to be willing to suffer. And sometimes I think that's what sometimes can do it in Europe, because you can go 25, 30 passes or whatnot against the opposition, and you just switch off for a moment, and that's when they hurt you. And I felt our lads, our concentration levels really, and their willingness to go out for each other really and stick at the game plan and not to throw in the towel sometimes when it's easy to do that, because you don't see a lot of the ball for periods of the game. I thought they really stuck at it, and I suppose our defensive shape overall, that's why I don't think they had too many clear chances.
The stats people think 7 points will be enough to progress past the league phase. How important was it to kick off with at least a point tonight? Yeah,
without a doubt. I spoke to the lads before about that, where this club has come from. Incredible, and I think I touched on that, and I wanted to touch on that. Some of the stories that you hear come around. I think Luke Bowen obviously has a huge influence on the football club still. I think 4 years ago, give or take, he lifted the first division title, so we touched on that and how far this club has come to play group stage football and to get something out of the game. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to win, but obviously if you don't win, you don't lose it. So again, a great night for the football club.
Was the stories from fans or other people as well that kind of benefited the group coming into this game?
Yeah, and I always touch on that, because for me, I think I spoke to you before about how important fans are at football clubs, and that's what it's all about for me. It was a great atmosphere there tonight, and I'm sure the memories that they made here, you see, obviously, as you said, you see stories about people that went to that first game a long, long time ago, or people like Darren here that does it all for free and absolutely loves his football club and will go out in a box in it and shell till he dies, literally. For people like that, it's absolutely magic these nights, and I'm sure, again, I'm in a blow in this football club, only the last 3 or 4 years, so I'm only being used to all real good times, to be honest, at this football club, where the likes of Darren and people like that in the background have seen this club in the absolute depths of it, and that for them, for a night like this, for them, yeah, that's what it's all about.
And just last one for me, so much pressure coming into this stage where most of the players haven't experienced before. How impressed were you in terms of them blocking out the noise in the days leading up to the game? Yeah,
and I think they really enjoyed it, and that's what we speak about here. It's a different type of pressure. We speak about that. The lads would always reference that about what pressure is in life and stuff. And here we're talking about football, what pressure is. It's a great. This is what it's about. I spoke to the boys at half time even to say 0-0 in a game like this, where a crowd like this, the weather, everything added to it for me in the melting pot, European football. Yeah, it's what you dream of as a kid, and I felt, listen, we wanted to win it, but once we didn't lose it, that was the big thing overall.
Yeah, Joey, just in terms of the last message you gave to the lads before they went out, what was it in terms of what did you look to draw on?
The last message, I think I've seen a tweet, it could have been Dave Henderson maybe, I think, said something about that he was in 6 years ago selling Christmas trees in Tallaght Park with Dave O'Connor when he was CEO, and I just wanted to touch on that with the lads to say how far you come, but don't accept it. This club over the last couple of years for us shouldn't have got probably the success that we've had, and it was all because we kept on pushing, driven all the time to keep on achieving, keep on reaching higher, and that was the thing tonight. Don't be happy where we are, don't be contented by getting group stage football and thinking, Jay's job done, it's nice, we can go out and enjoy ourselves. I said that to the lads, it's about winning, it's about qualifying, and ultimately don't do that, we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and sorry, just in terms of Sean Gannon's going off, was it just a knock, or is there...
Yeah, no, we have to get him scanned, I think. Yeah, he felt something in his calf, so I'm not too sure whether it was a kick or he felt something, so we'll see.
Yeah, and just one final one for me, just in terms of that tactical bit you were talking about, in terms of that right back position, that their substitute Danilo Al-Said seemed to get in a few times behind. How big a concern for you was it at that stage?
Yeah, look, and I suppose that's just managing the game. They obviously rolled the dice a little bit in that sense, and here we still wanted to go at times as well with Milan, so we didn't want to be just completely safe. So there's always that bit of cat and mouse, really, you know. And probably Milan had a chance back stick as well. I think with a cross coming in from Evan, their left back sort of let it go. We could have nicked it there, I suppose, you know. So there's always that weighing up of taking our time. But here, they're a good player, you know, so he's going to ask questions of you. But as I said, I think Milan dealt quite well with him. But then when he got crosses into the box, there was some brilliant clearances then in the centre of the box then.
Hi, Joey. Just I was wondering, Cameron Ledwidge, was that a tactical substitution or did he pick up a knock?
Yeah, no, tactical, yeah. Here, just wanted to change up, felt we needed more possession and build up and stuff like that and be more, and that was the call really I made. And here, listen, I suppose disappointed by Cameron, but he knows here, football club, I love him as a kid and as a player, so here it's, I think Chuck going in there, slotting back in one side, gave us a better option and build up there tonight.
And how did you find it playing as a kind of a quote-unquote home game in Tallaght? Like, did it make any difference, you think?
I think, listen, it's a great stadium, you know, so the lads, obviously the pitch is in great nick out there, you know, so stuff like that. So for us, it was, the lads are used to it, you know, they played here, obviously, when you play up here, a couple of times a year, sorry. A lot of the lads obviously have played here a long time as well in the league, so they know the pitch, they like the pitch. But here, the conditions were obviously hard for both teams. The weather obviously didn't really, play its part, I suppose, to get the ball down and knock it around. It was difficult for both teams. And I suppose that was sort of the flow of the game, really. We were probably on top in the first half with the weather conditions helped us, and probably the same for them in the second half.
And just finally for me, would it be fair to say you consider it a point gained rather than 2 dropped ultimately?
Yeah, definitely. Listen, it was about making sure we didn't lose the game, really. We wanted to go out and win the game, but here, knowing that you're playing tough opposition, really good teams. But again, I'll probably look back and when I got home and watch the game back on the laptop and you're able to sort of take the emotion out of the game a little bit, you probably see other things that here you might have been disappointed with, and maybe we left 2 behind, but here overall, as I said, really proud of the players and their effort that they put in.